This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hello everyone. Very good morning to you all. In last session, we discussed about React styling. So, how to uh, design the components by using React. We see in the way of inline and external styles, and we already seen and how to add styles conditionally also. But in this session, I'm going to talk about an important concept called Axios. This is one of the concept to perform Ajax request or HTTP request. We can use this concept module actually. Ajax is a third party module to perform HTTP requests, or in our word, we can call it as an Ajax calls. We can use this package. Axios is a package and we have to install this package. We have a lot of packages are there. We have fetch JSON API, fetch API, Axios API, like this. We have many things are there, but this is the one of the mostly used package. That's the reason we're discussing. If you don't know, and you can also do one thing, you can use JavaScript Ajax also. We can use in the React completely, or jQuery Ajax also we can use here, no problem. So we have Ajax in jQuery, Ajax in JavaScript. The same concept we can use, right? So this is the core API. I think we don't want to import or export or anything, but to work with Axios, we have to install that package Axios. After that, we can perform. How can we work with the GET request? How can we work with the POST request once the package got installed? So let me show you the official for this Axios npm. Just if you can click this Axios npm, I'm searching, and this is the official website where we can download the node packages, npmjs.com packages Axios. Now click on it. Now we can see this npm. This is the website we have to go to get the official packages of for our application, node package manager.js, simply npmjs.com. If you can see here, they will guide us how to use this module, how to install this module and all. So if we can bit go bottom, and we can see the information regarding. So what is the command to installing? Npm install Axios. I think this is the first module we are installing into our React project. As of now, we didn't install anything. As of now, we worked with what are the built-in functionality available in the React. With that, we have worked. Now I'm just going with the new package npm install Axios. So we have to install the Axios package, right? Okay, here my server is already running. I don't want to disturb my server here. You can open your code in the editor, try to see. This is also we can install here. If you can click control plus tick symbol. Where is the tick symbol will be available? So you can just control plus tick symbol. This is the key. I think you understand, right? So this will look like a single quote, but does not look like single quote. Control plus tick, just under the escape key, this symbol will be available. This is the tick symbol. Okay. If you can click this, inbuilt terminal will be open in the editor. Inbuilt terminal to open inbuilt terminal in Visual Studio Code. Okay, right. This is otherwise what you can do. You can stop the server here. Okay, you can stop the server and we can install the command in your project. Okay, now you can see. I will show you here the project. Control tick I'm pressing. Now you can see inbuilt terminal is opened. This is the inbuilt terminal. We can use the both one. Anyone you want, you can use it. So what is the command we copied now? Npm install Axios is the command. By hitting enter, it won't take much time. Just in 1 minute, maybe it will be complete this installation process. We are installing a new package into our React project. These packages, what are the packages we are installing or modules we are installing? These modules will be saved in our node modules folder. This is our node modules folder. In this, the packages and everything will be saved here. Okay, let me go to my src. So now I'm going to create a new file. And what is the major purpose of Axios? Let me explain you. Once that is done, then we can go for it. So still it is getting installed. Yeah, installation is completed. So we can get some vulnerabilities, warnings and all, no need to worry about it. So these are the things we have. Okay, right. Project is installed, npm installed. So the project Axios is installed. Now we have to work with the library. Once it is installed, first of all, you have to, once it is installation is completed, we have to import it. We have to import into our component. What is our component? It may be a functional component, it may be a class component. We have to import by using the following command: import Axios. Axios from Axios is the command. How do I know this is the command we have to use? You can go to the manual. In the manual they will explain us very neatly. So what is the way we have to use it? So this is the require. This is for node actually. This is for node for performing get request or whatever it may be. There is a node is a require command is used in the node generally. If it is it did they mentioned anywhere here? I think they didn't mention anywhere. I think this is the only way we have to use it. No worries about it. Okay, fine. So it's done, and these are all the methods and how to use those methods and all they given here. Just you can check this. And once it is imported, so we have to send a get request. This is all the sending get request. And if you can go back here, this is the, oh, this is also get request again, fine. And if you can go bit bottom, we can see the post request also. This is post request. Yeah, this is the post request we have. Yes, this is the post request, and this is the get request, whatever it may be. So get to post. Okay, so let me show you the function. Don't get confused here. By seeing the syntax, you people may get some confusion how the syntax should written. So let me show you how can we write the syntax. This is actually the method we have in that library. So once that is imported, we have to access this method. Can you see? By seeing this method, we have a lot of confusion, right? So what is this? How they written? The syntax is okay, but I didn't understand what they written and all. Let me do one thing. I'm removing completely. Once that is imported, let me show you. Axios.get is a predefined method. We have axios.post is a predefined method. There are two methods are there. Many methods are there, but right now let us talk about get and post. Right? We have first method is get to send or to get data from, to get data from a server. Okay, so we have to use the below method. For example, you have some data. The data you have to save into the database. Doesn't matter. You have to post data to server. To post the data to server, I mean, you have a registration form. In the registration form, you entered some data. You collected on submit the button. You collected how to post to server, right? Then you have to use the post method. There is some data in the server. The data you want to get it, we have to use the get method. So these are the two major methods we are having. So in this get method, what I am going to do, try to see. In this, we have to pass endpoint URL. What is the meaning of endpoint URL? Where is our data? There is nothing but the server URL. So you don't know actually where is the data and all. So the developer will tell us where is our data. So if you can ask them, they will give you that URL. You have to send a request to that URL. If you can send a request to that URL, we can get the data. This is what the endpoint URL. Okay, so now after this, continue, check this carefully. This is done. Now axios.get dot then dot catch. If the request is sent to server successfully, this will be executed. This then method will be executed. If anything wrong in the sending request, this will be executed. Catch and then. Okay, so for these both, we have a callback function we have to pass. This is the callback function we are passing. To this, we can pass response as a parameter. Okay, you can take simply res also, no problem. Whatever you want, you can take it, right? So here also, for this also, we have to pass a callback function. So to this function, we can pass error as a parameter. So I'm writing split by split. So by seeing the syntax, I think we will get a total confusion. That's why I'm writing like this. So here we can handle the success. And in this a function called catch function body, and we can handle the error handling. So this is going to be response handling and error handling. So this is whatever the response you got, we can handle the response and the response handling, and this is going to be error handling. So you can practice this syntax. So I didn't write, if I just copy paste the syntax, I think we cannot get the idea. So that's why I split it like this. So if you want, I will write it again and again, but practice is important of the syntax. See how I practice, how I written the syntax in the same manner you can try to practice it. Otherwise you will get some confusion. This is a third party library. This is not in the, this is not available in our React library. So we installed a separate package that is nothing but Axios that we imported, and we are accessing the data. Now you can check this. I'm removing. If you want, we can write it again, no problem. Axios dot get. I'm writing one more time. Get dot then dot catch. Okay, this is the flow. In this we have to pass endpoint URL. So you can check this endpoint URL you have to pass dot then. So in this, what we need to do, we have to pass a callback function. So the callback function have one parameter called response or any other parameter. So the error is also having a callback function for handling the error. So this is having the parameter called error. So this is exactly the thing. So this is called response handling. This is called error handling if you have any error while sending a request to server, right? Exactly. So here we can handle the response, here we can handle the error. So that's all. Now you can go to the post method also. It will also look like the same, nothing difference is there. Now you can see axios.post is a method. So the same, you can check this dot then dot catch, nothing difference is there, the same. But here in the post method, we have to pass two parameters. We have to pass two parameters. One is endpoint URL, definitely where to post the data. Endpoint URL you have to pass, and the second one is the data you have to pass to server. And the data should be an object, right? Data object you have to pass. What is this? You have to pass the data you collected from the form, right? That form data will be converted into an object that will be, you have to pass like a key and value, key and value, key and value. Otherwise if you have any confusion, so now you can see here we are able to see the data here. 1 minute, let me copy this data at least, so that this is the data. So we can take the data like this. It should be like a key and value pair combination. Can you see this is an object? Let me take something called data equal to something. This is a data object. So let us assume we collected first name and we collected last name from the form, and we have to post the data to server. Simply you can pass the variable data here. This is how we have to pass the data. Again the same story, dot then dot catch, response handling, error handling, nothing difference is there. Now you can take the same story. Okay, this is what exactly the way of handling post request, the way of handling get request. But the only difference you observe, in the get method we have one parameter, in the post method we have two parameters, because we have to post, where to post, what to post. I have to post the data, where to post, I have to send the data to endpoint URL. Okay, this is all the little brief of Axios, how to work with Axios. Okay, let me do into the action. I'm going to create one controller, and let me do one small file here. Let me write users list.js. I'm creating one component. The component name is users list.js. Okay, what I want to do, generally the purpose of Axios, what is the purpose of Axios or Ajax? Without refreshing, without reloading, we have to get data from server. That is the purpose of Ajax actually. So the same purpose we can use Axios also here. We don't want to refresh, we don't want to reload, we have to get the data from server, that we need to see now. Let me create the class component here. I'm going to create a class component. So from here we have to get the data. Let us see how we can get the data. I have to display the list of users. First of all, to display the list of users, where is that list of users data? You have to know that, right? So I have an endpoint URL. Let me give you that endpoint URL, JSON TP code slash users. Okay, this is the, I have an endpoint URL here with me. So if I send a request to it, it will give me array of objects. It will give me an array of objects. This is the data I have. I'm also sending you the same URL to you, and you can also try the Same. I'm sending you the URL to you everyone. So copy the URL and check the same, whatever the work I'm doing here. So I think we seen already in the JavaScript projects, but anyhow, the same URL, I'm going to take this in React way, how we can implement it. Okay. Here, let me take one H1 tag open, H1 tag close, users list. Okay. This is the thing we have. Users list is the heading. Let me go to my app and let me import my component. Users list is the component just now we created. Yes, it's also imported. Let me remove the unnecessary components from this page. Right. So now if we can go and refresh our component, we can see users list. This is the file we are having. Perfect. Now, the next thing. In this file, what we need to do, we have to send a request to server. First of all, let me do one thing. I'm taking const. Okay, this is the constructor I just taken. In this, let me take some variable called users. Okay, this is the users array. Right now we don't have any users here. Then if you have users, I think you can check the initial program. I think you can remember, maybe initially we implemented some programs like this. You have some static data with the array of objects. We iterated into a tabular format. I think you can recollect it. Those I think this will become easy for you, right? Okay, now you can check this. Users is empty right now. We don't have any data. So generally, if you have data, we can display something. Otherwise, how can I display something? Not possible, right? Let me do one thing. I'm rendering something conditionally. Try to see this dot state dot users. Let me go something like this: state dot users dot length is greater than 0. If we have at least one record, question mark, let us write we have data. I'm writing some string here. We have data, simply a string I'm writing. Okay, conditional rendering. Now this is going to be no data. Simply I'm writing no data. Can we go and check this right now? What is the data we are having here? This is empty now. We don't have length 0. Length 0 means it will be false. If it is false, this will be executed. We know that. Now if you can go and refresh the page, can you see we are able to see something wrong? Okay, semicolon removed, right? File is not saved. Okay, save the file. Yeah, refresh the page. If you can refresh, can you see we are having no data? For example, you can keep some records here. Now I'm taking, sorry, where is this file? You can go to the object array. I'm taking HTML, something like this. We have some data now. Whatever it may be, array of records or just elements or whatever it may be, we have some data. Now you can check this. It is getting, we have data. So initially we need to check something. So when you are displaying some table, first of all, if you have data, we can display table. That is the meaning. If you don't have data, what is the purpose of displaying a dummy table here, there? It's not good idea. So what I want to do, first of all, before displaying a table, I have to verify whether we have data or not. Initially, in a state object, we don't have any data. Okay, initially we don't have any data. Let me do one thing. So here, what I want to do, actually in place of it, so if you don't have any data, we don't want to display anything. Let me display this as a null. I don't want to display anything. If you have data, we have to display the data into tabular format, right? Remember, this is the table tag open, table tag close. Can you see? If you have records, display the table. If you don't have records, display null on the screen. I don't want to display anything on the screen. So now in this table, can you see, this is what exactly I'm writing slowly, step by step. Check this carefully. Have records, table should be displayed. In the table, we know that, right? We have T body, T head. First of all, for headings, T head open, T head close, right? In this, we have to take a TR. In this, we have to take THS. So what is the data I'm able to see here? I want to get something: ID, name, username, email. Okay, let me get these four fields first now. So ID, heading. So one is going to be name. What is the one more thing? Anyone you can take a name and username is there. Let me take no problem. Name, username. They are not having the same values, I think. So name, username, and one more is going to be email. How do I know these columns? I seen the JSON. In the JSON, they tell us every record, this is the first record, every record having the same key and value pair combination. Okay, perfect. Now, so here we have to display the data. The data definitely should go under T body open, T body close, T body. open, T body close. In this again tr, but remember this tr should be repeated. How many times? How many records you have, that many times you should be repeated. This is the data now. So what I want to do, take the JSX here. In the JSX, this dot state state dot users dot, oh why this is coming, dot map. This is the method we have to use, right? So what is the map method will do? Map method have a callback function with 2 parameters or 3 parameters, we can take no problem. Index, this is what exactly the map method will do. So here what we need to do, we can take a tr open, tr close. For every tr we have to add a key. What is the key? I am taking the key as index, right? So inside of this we have to take a td open, td close. Let me take, this is going to be item dot id. I take an item, right? Item dot id is the first id. Item dot name is the second. Item dot username is the third column actually. Item dot email is the last one. So we want to display only 4 columns. If required, we can display later. Now, are you able to see anything here? Nothing you are able to see. Why? Because there is no data now. If you have data, we can display it. Because your record is empty now. This is an empty data. That's why you can't get anything. If you can keep at least something, for example, this is the data I'm copying. Don't worry. Just I'm copying one record. So as a static one. So here I'm going to copy the static data. Can you see the static data I just copied? Okay, these are static data copied. In the state object, I kept one record. Actually, this is statically I copied. Now you can see table is displaying. Can you see table is displaying? If you have data, it should be displayed. Otherwise, how can I? But actually, to get this data, we have to send a request to server. Did you send any request to server as of now? No, we are taking some static data and we're trying to display. No, 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 no. I want to send a request to server and I want to get the data. So how can we get the data? Now you can see. So we have to use Axios definitely. On the top of the page, let us import Axios, import AXIOS Axios, sorry, AXIOS Axios from Axios. This is what exactly we have to take it. Okay, done. It is imported. Once it is imported, now we are ready to work with Ajax call. Nothing but we have to send a request to the endpoint URL. What is our endpoint URL? This is my endpoint URL. Let me copy this endpoint URL and let me, okay, copy. But where to send the request, when to send the request? That's the biggest question here. So once your DOM has been completely rendered, then I have to send a request to, server. What is the best place? How do I know DOM has been rendered? You know that there is a React lifecycle methods. In the lifecycle methods, we have a method called component did mount. When this method will be called, this method will call only one time. After DOM has been completely loaded, this method will be called finally. So this is the best place to write HTTP request or Ajax calls. So the method AXIOS dot get, that's all, dot then dot catch. So catch catch, this is done. So we know that in this we have a callback function with response object, response as a parameter. Let us take response response. Here also we have a callback function, same you can take it. So this is going to have error as a parameter, error. So the endpoint URL you have to pass here. Let me pass the endpoint URL. This is endpoint URL. In this we can handle success. In this we can handle error. So if you have data, let me do one thing. Console.log, I'm printing the response only. response. Okay. Here also we can go and we can check the error object. If we have any error, we have to print that error object. Now, error object is also printed. Perfect. Now let me do one thing. So when this method will be called, this method will call automatically. Why? It's the lifecycle method. This call automatically once your DOM has been completely rendered. After rendering the DOM, then only we can display the data, update the uh, data in the JSX. We know that if state get updated, this is the empty state right now, right? Empty state. After immediately empty state calling, render method will display the empty table. I think actually it cannot display because length is 0 na, so we cannot display the table and we can see anything. So once this render method completed, who will be executed? Component did mode will be executed. What this method needs to do, this method needs to update this empty users object. Whatever the data we are getting, the data should be updated into this empty users object, empty users variable. So how we can do this, we will see. First of all, let me check this whether we are able to get the data or not. I'm refreshing, press F12. So by checking the log, in the log we can see whether the request went to server or not. I'm going to refresh the page. Can you see the request went to server? Or else in the network also we can check this. This is the request went to server, right? Yes, if we can reload the page, request went to server. But remember, request went to server, but when this request went to server, on load the page request went. I mean, you are refreshing the page. What I want to tell you, without refreshing, without reloading, we have to send a request. Wait, that too also we will see. This is if we can click request went to server, and we can see the JSON data. This is all the data we got there. Whatever the data we seen here, the same data I'm able to see in the network also. I mean, request went to server successfully and we got the data. In the console also, I printed this data object. Can you see the data object is printed? So not the whole response object is printed. In the response, we have some information config, we have some data, we have some headers, we have some requests, we have some status, and we have status text. So these are the properties of the response object. So you printed response object, right? So once you printed response object, the response object having the following information. But in this response object, where is the data? If you can see, the data is available in the property data. This is the data, the 10 records you are able to see, right? These are the 10 records we are having. I don't want config, headers, request, status, and status text. I need only data. Let me do one thing. Response.data I'm printing. Now you can check this. So that is an object actually. That's the reason. You can see the prototype. What is this? Is object. Now you can see this time you cannot get the config and everything. Just only the data object you are getting. And this is the data we have from the server we collected. Now the collected data should be pushed to the state object. Nothing but we have to update the state. Let us see how can we update the state here. Right now here I am writing this dot set state. We know very well. In this we have object users colon response response dot data. That's all. Now you can go and refresh the page. We can see the data. Are you able to see the data? That's all. We written the logic like this. But this we are getting on load the page, right? No, I don't want to get the data on load the page. By clicking a button, I want to get the data by clicking a button. Let me do one thing. I'm stopping up to here. Let me create one more file. I want to create one more file. Let me do the same job again and again. Component did mount and everything. So let me create a quickly one file. Users list, users list one.js. I'm creating one more file. This is the file we have, RCE, create a React class component. So you can see this time I want to keep a button. By clicking the button without refreshing, without reloading, I want to get the data. That's what I want to see here. Let us see how we can implement this route. Now, so here in the JSX, let us go there. Let's have a heading, h1 tag open close, users list using AX iOS Axios. Okay, let me have a button also, button open, button close. In this button, I am writing load data. Just this is the button I have. Okay, let me have an ID for the button. ID equal to, I'm just taking the ID as BTN is the button. Okay, let us take some constructor here. The same logic, guys, nothing difference is there, or const. Let me take the same users is equal to empty. We don't have any data right now, right? Okay, in the JSX we have to display the table. When can we display the data? If you have data, we can display. Let us have the JSX expression. This dot state dot users, users dot length, length is greater than 0. We have to display the table. Let us take a table tag open, table tag close. Otherwise we can display this as a null. The same logic, and whatever the logic I written there, same logic. In the same manner, you have t body, t head, right? So the same table logic you written, right? Let me copy the same. So why should I write? So we have already written, right? Okay, the same logic, nothing different is there in the table. In the table, I'm hitting enter, the logic was kept there. Okay, but we don't have any data right now, right? But this logic should get executed. When it should get executed? On click the button only, we have to see the output. This table should come if you have data. If you can click the submit button, then only we have to get it. And right now, so let us, okay, first let me import this user list one component. This is okay, users list one component is imported. Let me remove this users list component. Okay, now I'm refreshing the page. Will you get anything in the screen? No. There is a button load data. On click the button, we want to get the data without refreshing, without reloading. So now what we will do here, so to this button, we have to bind an event, right? We have to bind an event. So how can we bind an event? What is the best place to bind an event? You know, again, component did mount is the best place to bind an event to an element. So document dot get element by ID, get element by ID. In this, ID is btn dot add event listener is a method. I have to find an event called click, and here we have to call a function. On click the button, we have to call a function. That function should get the data. This dot get users list is the function. Okay, now you can see this function we have to define, right? So let me define the function. So this is going to be a function. Let us take a fat arrow, right? This is going to be done. In this function, now we have to send the Axios request, not in the component did mount. Remember, this time we written the logic in the component did mount, Axios logic. Whatever the logic you written here, we written here. But this time you can write in this only. So this is a different thing, that is a different thing. Okay, so why? Because on click the button, we have to get the data. On load the page, we don't want to get data. Remember carefully, this is on load the page, you got data. Here on click the dot, on click the button, we have to get the data. But on load the page, I can do one thing, I can bind an event to the element. But on click the button, we have to get the data, right? So in this, I'm performing the same Axios request. Can you see the same Axios is went, and you are getting the data like this? Can you check this? Now you can go and check this, what exactly we are doing. Nothing. So on click the button, this function will be called. What this function will do, it will send a request to server, we will get the data and state get updated. Now you can check this. I have an error, Axios is not imported, man. So we copy pasted, on the top of it Axios should be imported. So import AXIOS, Axios from Axios, done. You can go and refresh the page, you can click the load button, we are able to see the data. On click the load button, we are able to see the data. Sometimes unfortunately there may be something wrong in the URL. For example, I'm taking some wrong URL, invalid URL, users123 is not there in the Axio, that endpoint URL is not there. I clicked something. Are you getting anything? We are not getting any data. And if you can press F12, you can see there is an error. Oh, right, can you see what is the error? Object is printing something, request failed with the status code 404. So this is executing this error object is printing that error information actually. So what I want to do in this point of time, let me do one thing, comma, I'm defining an error message, MSG. But this message, okay, we are a developer, we can open the console and we can see the problem. Because you are a developer, you know that how to open a console, how to check the error. What about the end user point? End user cannot see this, right? Even though if he can see, he can't understand. So we have to display a user friendly message on the screen. Let me go and let me display user friendly message. Error message, initially we don't have any error message, I'm taking empty. If you have error, we will update the error here. Let me go and check this. So if you have any error, let me update this error message. Okay, this dot set state. In this set state, I have to update that error message. Error message, this is going to be sorry, SORY, sorry, something went wrong. I'm displaying the message like this. Okay, you are updating the state. After updating the state, that message should be displayed here, right? After clicking the button, I'm going to display this. Do one thing, for displaying this, I'm taking the JSX. If you have error, display the state error message. If you don't have error, how can I display? No, not right, right. So in this, I'm writing this dot state dot error message, state dot error message. If the error message is not empty, Okay, then we have to display it and the paragraph tag open close. I'm taking this dot state dot error msg. Otherwise, we can display null. If you have error, we can display it only. Otherwise, how can I display? Not possible. Now you can check this. Now you have error actually. On click the button. Now can you see? Sorry, something went wrong. You can provide a valid URL now. Can we go and provide a valid URL here? Where is that file? Yeah. So you can check this. I'm providing some valid URL. If you can refresh the page, now you can see you are able to get the data without having any error. If there is any error found, that should be displayed. If there is no error and if it is got successfully executed, then we can go like this, guys. This is what exactly we can implement it exactly, right? Okay, great. So here you may have one more thing, sir. I want to display a loader also, loader message. Let me do one thing. For this, what I want to do, let me copy a loader image for you. Where is that loader image? On click the button, loader should become. Once the data came, loader should be hidden. The loader message, loader image I have to display. Let me go for it. Go to projects. I think I copied yesterday somewhere. React NAM, I believe. Node. The src. Okay, here I have an image. Let me do the same story for your project also. I want to keep all the images which are related to my project in the src. We have already one folder. The folder name is going to be css. Let me right click and create a new folder with a name called images. All the images which are related to our application I'm keeping inside of it. Right now I need one image. Later if you need more images, we can get those images also. Okay, this is the loading gif. Perfect. Now we can check this, guys. Here, very important scenario we are going to implement. So first of all, how can we add an image? First of all, remember, not like HTML, we have to import a loader from the folder. And what is the folder? Dot slash images slash loading. Loading.gif is the file. This is the way of loading an image. You cannot add the path directly like HTML, img, src, something like this. Okay, now you can see the image will be added like this. Now I'm going to add the image. Try to check this. Img src equal to, you can set some height and width. The height equal to 30 and width 30, something like this. Width 30, height 30, width equal to 30, height equal to 30. But maximum for all the images, you have to set the alt message, and this is very important. loading, loading, something like this. And here the loader property, if you can set here, that's all. Now you can go and check this. If you can refresh the page, loader image will be coming, right? Loader image is loaded. This is what you have to do. You cannot do like a regular HTML in React. Okay, so this is the loader image. But when loader image should come, if you can click the button, loader image should come. Now it is loading on load the page, loader is coming. No, if you can click the button, now you are getting data, but loader is still there. Now in this point, what I will do, let me define one more state for this state property for this loader image also. Let me go to your component. In your state component, what I will do, I'm taking one more loader status. Status is initially false. I'm setting initially false, means that initially we don't want to display the loader. That's why it is false. Now what I want to do, where you are displaying the loader image, this is the loader image. Right, do one thing. I'm conditionally writing this dot state dot loader status, loadr, loader status. If it is true, we can display the image. And if it is a false, we don't want to display now. Initially, what is the value you set? False, right? So initially this is false. If this false, this will be executed. I mean, initially we don't want to display the loader. Now you can see loader is not there. Loader is not there. When loader should come, on click the button, loader should become. Once data came, loader should be hidden. Should hidden. Right, now you can see one more thing. Where is your click button? And I'm clicking the button here, right? You are clicking the button here. Let me do. Once you click the button, this will be called, right? I'm writing nothing but state update only. This dot set state. In this, you have to take this. Now you can check this. Loader status is a true only. On click the button, loader status is true. So once you got the data, loader should be hidden, right? So where can I get the data? Here I can get the data. So in the success block, loader should be false. Even though you have error, we have to make the status false, guys. That's all. This is the only thing we have to do. This is also false, that is also false. Or initially that is false. Once you click the button, that is we are displaying. Once you got the response, we are hiding. Once you got an error also, we are hiding. That is nothing but simply we are updating the state only. We return the logic here conditionally. If the status is true, display image. Otherwise, don't display. Now you can check this. I'm going to refresh my page. Now can we see? I'm going to click the button. You can see loader came and hidden immediately. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me send some, let me give some invalid URL. At least some loader will be appear for some time, because we are in the local machine. That's why the request is very fasterly working. Let me do one thing here. Now I'm clicking the button. Loader is coming and loader is hiding, Andy. That is not standing for some time. Actually, the request is processed immediately because we are in the local machine. Maybe this is what exactly the concept of the thing. Let me remove this. I'm going to send some request. Now you can check this. I'm going to execute it. Loader is coming and it is hiding immediately. It's not a problem. No need to worry about it, right? So this is how we can work with Ajax calls. Can you see how we did this slowly, like a conditional way, and on click the button, just loading the page. This is what exactly the way of getting data from some server. Sometimes the user requirement may be click the button, get the data. Loader message should become, error message should be displayed to the customer. So this is all our requirement. Based on the requirement we implemented. The next thing, guys, here we have to know about we have to know about here one thing. What is it? uh, Posting data to server. Actually we have to discuss as a next concept. Posting data to server, we have to discuss this in the next time. But before going to this, I have to discuss about the form handling. What is this is going to be? Form handling, HANDLING. Form handling I have to discuss. So we have to create a sign up form or register form. We have to validate the form, on submit the form. We have to collect the data. We have to send the data to server. Okay, let us see how we can work with the form handling. Once form handling is completed, we can, I mean, the next thing is immediately is Ajax call only, post request only, nothing but we have to collect the data, we have to send the data to server, and let's work on the form handling tomorrow session. Okay, right. Thank you guys. Then we can see tomorrow. Any doubts you have, let me know, please.